Hello everyone, it's Melanie here with Vintage Hill Studio. I'm so glad you dropped by. I'm doing a fall card from a paper napkin. I found these Pioneer Woman napkins at Walmart and I just thought they would be perfect for a card. Now you've seen me do this before. I'll link another project at the end of the video for you if you're interested in that. I believe it was an Easter card from a paper napkin. But anyway, keep your eyes open for these cards. These napkins for your cards. I'm just going to simply cut apart these panels. You can see you can get 4 cards out of one napkin if you're interested and like doing this project. So we've got some beautiful images here. This will fit perfectly on 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. I'm just going to cut away that border there at the bottom, and I have other plans for that later on. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. The next thing you want to do is just remove all the ply layers from your napkin. Some of these are 2 ply, some are 3 ply, some are 4 ply. Remove all the plies till you're down to the basic image. That's all you want to work with for your card. You can save those other pieces for other, cleaning up your project. So anyway, I have this little white panel here that is 4 by 5 1/4. I want it a little smaller than my card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I use this old paper box that I keep on hand for spraying and splattering projects. It keeps my work surface absolutely clean, which helps me just move along with my projects a little faster when I don't have to clean up my work surface. Then I'm taking the Elmer's Craft and Bond spray adhesive and I'm giving this a good spray. You can tell when it's saturated because your paper napkin will become kind of translucent. See how you can kind of see through that? I know that I have good adhesive on that napkin. Then I'm going to just bring over my little white panel here and I'm going to stick that right over the adhesive and the paper napkin. So I've got the right side of the paper napkin facing down and now it's adhered to my white panel. Let that dry just a little bit. It doesn't take long to dry. Once it's dried just a bit, it's going to be easier to trim this down. So I'm using a Cutterpillar Pro paper trimmer. Now all the supplies and dimensions used to make this card will be listed in the description below the video, so go over there if you're interested in what I'm using. You can see this didn't cut very well on the end because it's still a little bit wet. And also, when it is actually adhered to the cardstock underneath, cutting it down is a lot easier than just going over that thin paper napkin layer. Okay, and then I'm going to trim that down to the 4 inches by 5 1/4 because I want a little border there on the front of my card. And then just to add a little more interest, I'll bring over some distress ink and go around the edges very quickly with my little finger dauber. This will just set this panel off from the background of that cardstock very nicely. Okay, and then I'm going to come over with another distress ink. And again, all the supplies will be listed in the description below the video here on my YouTube channel. And I'm going to go around the base of that card as well. Using a little walnut stain. This is just going to offset the paper napkin panel and also the edges of the card. It's fairly plain this week on the front of the card, so I just do this for a little added interest. Okay, and then I'll be ready to get that panel put on. I put a little heavier in the corners, both on the napkin panel and on my card panel. There we go. That's going to look great. I'll add a little adhesive to the back and get that put on the front of my card. The next thing I'm going to do is bring over a die cut. I have die cut several words for Thanksgiving, like thanks and blessed and things like that, and I just keep them in a little container off to the side so that they're ready whenever I need them for a project. So I think I will add this at an angle there at the top of my card. To make that stand out just a little, I will bring over that finger dauber. I haven't added any more ink and I'm just lightly giving it a little brush with that walnut stain that I used around the edges of my card. And the thankful will go right over the top of that, just to make it stand out from the background a bit. Right, so you see how quickly this card is coming together. Can't leave well enough alone. Add a little bit more color to the front, and I'll be ready to move to the inside with that surprise I talked to you about. So again, this was from the bottom of the napkin, that bottom part of that elongated napkin. And I did the same thing. I sprayed the back with adhesive, added a little bit of white cardstock for stability, and I'm going to use that on the inside of my card and just add a very simple Happy Thanksgiving sentiment. This is the Tonic Studio stamping platform. There's one side for rubber stamps, which is what I'm using today, and you just pull that out and flip it over if you're using clear stamps. But it's great if you need multiple impressions, especially on the inside of your card. You don't want to, make a mistake with your stamping this late in the game. The last thing I'm going to do is add a little pre-printed label that I did with my PC and my home computer that says made from a paper napkin. I like people to know what they're looking at when they receive my cards. So that finishes my card for today. I'm so glad you dropped by. Happy to see you again. I hope you have a wonderful crafty day. If you're new to the channel, please feel free to become a subscriber. Anyone can leave me comments. I love to hear from you. I hope you have a wonderful, joyous day and fit in some crafting where you can. Happy crafting, everyone.